So, hello, welcome. I'd like to say hello to our friends in Australia. Hello. Um, our friends in South America, the USA, Europe, and of course, yes, you Brits. Yes, I wouldn't leave you out. Hello, hello, hello. So, in Buddhism, we talk about refuge, finding refuge when times are difficult. And just in life in general, we need a refuge. And we talk in Buddhism about the Buddha's teaching is a refuge itself because it gives us a perspective on life, on it, or rather, it reveals how life really is rather than the mind's interpretation of it. Because the mind is fearful and conditioned and anxious, and so we see life through those filters of fear and anxiety. But the Buddha's teaching clears away the fears and anxieties. It's a refuge. It's a place of safety. And I think we're all looking for a safe place. We all want a place where we can lay our head, where we can rest, be at peace, be safe. And I'm not talking physically. Being physically safe is, yeah, that's absolutely, yeah. But we want to be psychologically and emotionally safe, don't we? We want to be reputationally safe. Yeah. Want to know that we are okay mentally and emotionally, psychologically, not just physically. So what is it that makes us feel unsafe? What is it? Because in times gone by, we used to have tigers and lions running after us or whatever. We used to be the hunted. Yeah. But that's no longer the case, is it? For most of us. Just stay with your own experience. See, what's happened is the lions and tigers have moved from the external world to the internal. Now, what makes us feel unsafe is our own mind, our own self-centered thinking, our own anxious thinking and fearful thinking, our own imagination. That's what makes us feel unsafe. And so we try to change this, try to get rid of all these thoughts and images and the imaginations. But we can't. You can't just get rid of them. So what's this safe place I'm talking about then? Well, it's not to be found in the mind. The mind is a tool. You've heard me talk about this before. It's a tool. It's a great tool. Okay? But if we look for peace of mind in the mind, we're looking in the wrong place. See, our attention keeps getting hijacked by mind, by the constant thinking about life. See, psychologically, we're always on the lookout. Yeah. Internally, we're on the lookout. Yeah. Thoughts, what can go wrong? Yeah. And if you're planning a project, that's fine. That's functional. That's part of the practical doing a good job. But it's there psychologically, just even just walking up the stairs or having a shower or drinking a cup of tea, it's there. Yeah. So what's this safe place? Well, there's two ways that you can look at this, that I can look at it anyway. I'm sure there are more. And the first one is that we have to begin to see our thoughts for what they are. We have to stop believing our thoughts. That's one way of looking at it. Our thoughts are not telling you, the thoughts are not telling you the truth about life. The mind keeps imagining happenings. And have you noticed that most of them don't happen? They only happen in the imagination. You know, the egoic mind, we could say, it keeps us this promise with the next moment's going to be better. And it never is. It's just this. We end up fixated in mind, in our thoughts. So we need to begin to stop believing thoughts. See thoughts for what they are. When you're being lost in thought, just say to yourself, that's thought. See, see if I can let me describe it another way. What happens? Let's say we're going for a job interview, yeah, and we're feeling a bit, you know, queasy tummy and sweaty palms, and yeah. So that's our primary experience. That's our first experience, our raw experience. Then the mind almost immediately sees this and puts a label on it, starts a commentary about it. Okay, so it says, he's anxiety again. Oh, I'm always anxious. That's your first label. Then, in response to that label, the mind puts another label on it. Oh, it's going to ruin the interview. I'll never get this job. That second label, it's like a post. You know those little post-its we have, yeah, post-it notes. Yeah. One of my mentors, I thought was a great way of explaining it, similar to this. He was explaining it similar to this with labels and post-its. And we get a post-it and we put it on the first post-it. So it's not a response to the actual experience, it's a response to the other post-it. Then we put another post-it on that. Then the whole experience, the primary experience, is not seen. The story about it then becomes the reality, not the physical experience. What can happen? And all those post-its are feeding that primary experience, making it appear worse. Now, you're obviously not going to get the job. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be unemployed for the rest of your life, wherever, wherever the story goes. That's what we experience. And there's so many post-its that the primary experience is lost. It's gone. All it was a queasy tummy and sweaty hands. It's like you get a beautiful picture and you put it on the wall and you look at it. Let's say it's sunflowers for Van Gogh. It's up there and you look at it. And then you start to get a label, sheet of paper, and you put it on. Wallflower, I think. Flowers, yeah. And then the next one by Vincent van Gogh. Painted in such a year, at such and such a place. Then you might start getting opinions. I like it, but it's not as nice as the one he painted earlier. The yellow is not quite yellow enough. It should be a bit, and the shading is not quite, yeah. And then you feel that they got so many post-its on that painting. You don't see the painting anymore. All you see is your commentary about it, the story about it. The painting's gone. It's covered over. That's what happens. They get covered over. Your primary experience of queasy tummy and sweaty palms is completely laid over with mind stuff. And we don't see it happening. We think those post-its, those labels are reality, where thoughts are always thoughts about something. And normally, more often than not, they're negative. And I want you to see this happening. That's your home practice, as long as something else I'm going to give you. Okay? Yeah. See, we keep labeling what's happening and then we take the label to be it, or the story around it to be it. It's another way of looking at the two daggers. That's what it is. It's another way of looking at it. And I think the two daggers is one of the primary metaphors of I always tell the parable of the two daggers on retreats and courses. You get that, and but see this happening. So you may feel an anxious feeling there. Then watch what the mind makes of it. Just watch how he builds on it. Then you've got a story. But I also want to, well, it does the same with other people, doesn't it? How many opinions and assumptions do we have about other people? Yeah. What makes them true? Can an opinion of somebody else ever be true? Does everybody have the exact same opinion about that person? Maybe that would make it sort of true, but they don't. Let's say Bill, there's, every person has a different opinion of Bill. So nobody's right. Your opinion isn't right. My opinion isn't right. But what do we do? My opinion's it's more valid than other people's. And particularly for a group of people who sort of agree with us. Yeah. Then you get into, groupthink. Yeah. Very dangerous. Yeah. Because the urge to be right, the urge to be the one who's right, the group who are right is so strong. We don't want to be seen as to be wrong, because underneath what that certainty is covering up is insecurity and vulnerability. That's what's covering up. Yeah. One of my mentors said to me, scratch anybody and underneath the surface you'll see vulnerability and insecurity, fear, until you've done a lot of this. Till you've investigated and seen that thoughts are not, you have to stop believing your thoughts. Still think, of course, for practical reasons and action-oriented reasons. Absolutely. Assumptions. We have assumptions about ourselves. I'm no good. I can't do that. I'm not worth it. Assumptions about other people. We have assumptions about, let's say, a work colleague. He's some more home practice. Take one or two people and notice your assumptions about them. See, let's say a work colleague. You never meet, you never actually see your work colleague. We never actually see people for what they are. We see our assumptions. And we don't realize our assumptions. That's what we see when we look at someone. We see someone. Got a story going about them. Yeah. Even it might be, based on a haircut. Based on a haircut. Strange haircut. Get that seen too. Off we go. And then, we build on that. Because we all have biases, filters, preferences, fears, doubts. So that's your own practice too. Notice your assumptions about people. When you're giving your opinion, can we just give our opinion like that and hold it lightly? Notice when you're doing that, when you're grasping onto your opinion and trying to prove to others that you're right, trying to convince them of my rightness. It's bizarre, really bizarre. And it's all mind created. We don't realize how much mind is. It's like there's life. Yeah, there's just life pulsating. That's how a dog or a cat or the creature's experiencing just life in its rawness, in its beautiness, in its one joy and wonder is life. But we've covered it over. We've got layers over it, layers of conceptualizing, stories about life, which other animals don't do. I'd guarantee you. And definitely not to the same extent that we do. There's just life. There's just life happening here, but we believe the overlay. It's like life is happening, and the mind sort of gets a film, like you know a movie clip, and slides it in there, so that we start to experience, start to watch, or to see the movie, the film. Yeah. And no longer are we experiencing life; we're watching a movie about it, created by mind. That's what I mean when I talk about me movies or mind movies. No longer are you hearing and seeing and feeling in all its wonder and immediacy, the immediacy of life. No longer are we open to it. We're watching a movie about it. We're once removed from it. Yeah, we are. Hmm. Have a few minutes quiet. Just sitting quietly, eyes open or closed. Maybe there's something resonated which was said there. Drop back into the body. Hmm. Just being here. Tune into reality. Take a deep breath. Body. Body's not making anything up. That's done by the mental world. Okay. And bear in mind that what other people think of you has nothing to do with you. It's their business. You don't need to go there. But often what you what you think other people are thinking about you won't be true. Just they're your own thoughts. See, it's happening here. This is where you've got to be free from believing your own storylines, your own narrative. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye bye.